morning. Are the judges ready? Is the timer ready? The opposing team?
Yes.
Good morning. My partner, Luke Barber, and I, Lucian Borchers, are for the resolution that the United States federal government should reform its policy for the vetting of refugees entering the United States. The affirmative team is pleased that the negative team has accepted our definitions and would like to move on to the harms. The negative team has tried to argue that our harm of illegal immigration increases with an open refugee immigration policy is not significant because it is already being solved in the current system. However, we have shown with proper evidence that this is in fact not true. Quote, the large surge of illegal immigrants at the southern border, quote, we estimate a 1.3 million increase in illegal immigration since President Biden took office at the beginning of 2021. While the negative team has said that the Biden administration has done work to slow illegal immigration, this is not true. We have shown that with his policies of an open refugee policy, that illegal immigration has increased. Therefore, we have won this harm, and the negative team has also tried to argue that our harm of the surplus of refugees and immigrants entering the country, making it increasingly more difficult to properly vet each one, is also insignificant for the same reason. They have argued that under the Biden administration, this problem has been solved. But I would like to remind the council that in our 1AC, we've provided genuine evidence that the status quo has actually increased the amount of backlogging at the border. And therefore, the status quo is causing these problems that will be solved by our plan. We would also like to, the negative team has also tried to argue that our harm of the money spent on immigration issues is excessive and could be put to better use. Is not excessive because we have an obligation and that the status quo fixes said obligation. The opposing team has argued that we should spend large amounts of money on refugees coming into the nation who are not our citizens just for a humanitarian point of view. While we agree that this is an important issue and that humanitarianism is a valuable part of the United States, we argue that we should also consider our citizens above other countries first. We also argue that the backlogging that is caused by the status quo actually harms refugees. Quote, recipients' protections and work authorization can only be granted for 18 months at a time, meaning that efficient processing is crucial. Summary, efficient processing is necessary to an effective vetting process because otherwise it causes problems in the system, such as the suffering of the refugees in the system. Therefore, for the humanitarian aspect, we argue that our plan should be enacted. The negative team have argued that our plan have not argued that our plan does not solve our problems, but have argued that the status quo already has solved the issues. As we have shown with strong evidence that the status quo does not solve the current issues, therefore our plan should be enacted. In conclusion, as the affirmative team closes today, we would like to remind the judges of the events of the debate round. The affirmative team has demonstrated that the status quo presents significant harms, such as illegal immigration, causing backlogs significantly affecting the efficiency of the vetting process, and using excessive amounts of money being spent on the needs of too many refugees. The negative team has argued that we did not uphold the stock issue of significance. They have said that our harms are already being solved by the status quo and therefore are not significant enough to reform the status quo. However, we have shown that these harms are inherent in the system and therefore should be changed. Thank you. I'm not ready for cross-examination.